Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda with Tiger Family Chiropractic and Wellness Center, and thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share some information about what some of us are aware of, a concept called empty calories. And I want to just touch on why we want to avoid those in our everyday diets and keep them from being our mainstream as far as a source of nourishment. And so an empty calorie is going to be any food or drink that is made up entirely of macronutrients. And so macronutrients are going to be your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. And so macronutrients are going to be one of the major concepts relating to energy use. In order for us to be productive in our human bodies, we have to burn energy, and these are the sources of those energies. However, all chemical reactions inside of our bodies also require what we call micronutrients. These are some examples, not an exhaustive list, of some micronutrients. Things like manganese, iron, copper, zinc, magnesium. So what's happened in our production of food and the process that happens over time and availability is that most of us have created patterns where we are resourcing and utilizing empty calories as part of our everyday routine. An example would be a really delicious latte from your favorite coffee shop, full of maybe sugar or carbohydrates. It gives you a nice boost of energy, but there's really not any of these micronutrients involved. And that's super important because if your body is going to use those carbohydrates for energy and for processing inside of your body, it absolutely also requires a lot of micronutrients in order to be productive with it. You could picture it like this. If you had basically like a battery and whatever, let's say remote control. In order to utilize the remote control, you absolutely need the battery in there in the right direction, just so, and it has to have a good charge, right? Otherwise, the remote control is handy for throwing to get someone's attention, but really not great for its intended purpose of changing the channel. And so in this situation, our food analogy is a empty calorie food. It tastes good, it's convenient, but it's not super great for actually creating new cells inside of your body or having a strong source of energy utilization. And so what we want to keep in mind is that if you're eating a diet that's really high in these empty calories, what happens is that, let's say I go to my favorite coffee shop and I have a delicious sugary latte this morning, and later today as my body's trying to make new cells, it starts craving these micronutrients because it needs it in order to complete a new chemical reaction. And so all of a sudden, lo and behold, boom, I'm hungry again, even though I might have had 1,000 calories in that beautiful, delicious latte. Those calories aren't serving me to create new cells because they're lacking in these things. So people who eat a high amount of empty calories in their everyday diet actually end up eating more servings, more food per serving, and they're hungry more often every day because their bodies are actually starving for nourishment. And so some of the sneaky spots that we could get empty calories, I would say, happen to be foods that are highly processed. And by that I mean you buy them in a bag or in a box and they're super convenient. I get it. They don't go bad, although they can. I did not think it was possible for mac and cheese to go bad, but we were staying with some family and they had it in the pantry. I don't know how long it had been there, but my poor son, I went to make it and I poured out the cheese powder and it was like brown. And I thought, like, number one, I didn't have anything else to feed him, and number two, I was like, mac and cheese can't go bad. It can. It was just disgusting. Poor guy. He was like, Mom, why did you feed this to me? I didn't have a really good answer other than it's just what was in there, and I was sold on this bag or box being highly preserved and that it couldn't go bad. So technically it can, but the moral of the story being what they do in the process of a lot of that preservation is they strip the foods of their natural micronutrients, and then afterward they spray on a chemical form of those micronutrients that are no longer living. So we want vital foods for your body. I think of it a lot like gasoline in a car, and you know there are certain cars that require certain types of gasoline in order to run properly. And we are premium vehicles. We require and need some vital, delicious, well, if I'm cooking it, it's not delicious, but it's healthy, fruits and vegetables and things that are made from whole foods. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that helps to clarify why we would want to take out some of those empty calories and replace them with foods that are just healthier and more vital for our bodies. Have a great day.